Supposed to be. There's a new guy in charge, and that's how we had it done this year. Yes, normally they leave and we come around.
Looking at my program, it looks like we had a whole lot more guests of honor, but that's okay. The folks who went around, thank you very much. Yes, it is warm. Terribly sorry for that. Post of Colors. It's presented by the Silver Air Patrol Cadets Air Victory Museum Composite Squadron, Lumberton, New Jersey. Our invocation today is provided by Carl Shaw, Post 11 Commander. Chaplain, I'm sorry.
Cover. Good afternoon, buenas tardes. Shall we pray? O Lord our Father, we thank you for this day as we remember Emilio on his 96th anniversary of his tragic death. May we always honor his mission to spread goodwill, peace, and unity between America and Mexico. As our post recovered his body 96 years ago, may we stay committed to honoring him and his family each year. We ask for your blessings on this service and for all those in attendance. Amen.
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 Okay, principal speakers are Department Commander, American Legion, New Jersey. Oh, please be seated.
Good afternoon, Legion family and guests.
Good afternoon.
It is an honor to stand here in front of this beautiful monument in honor of Emilio Carranza Rodriguez, the Lindenberg of Mexico. Carranza was a 22-year-old hotshot of Mexican aviation. His trip to New York was done in stages and went smoothly. But the return flight, going to a non-stop, grueling test of endurance, he abruptly flew off the evening of July 12, 1928, in a wild thunderstorm. The rumor was that he was forced to leave on orders from a jealous Mexican general, whose telegram was later found in his pocket. Leave immediately, it read, where the quality of your manhood would be in doubt. His flight only got 50 miles south before his flight ended in the Pine Barrens. His body was recovered the next day by Post 211, and they organized the first memorial at Carranza crash site, making a solemn pledge to conduct a pilgrimage each year and pay honor to the memory of Emilio Carranza, and to keep his mission of goodwill and peace alive. I commend American Legion Post 211 leadership and members for their keeping this service going all these years. May God bless all of you. May God bless our troops and veterans. And may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Clean it up. Next, we have Mexican Military and Air Force Attaché, Major General Miguel Eduardo Hernandez Velasquez.
Good afternoon, everything. Today, in the commemoration of Captain Emilio Carranza, we remember a life that, although brief, left a valuable example of courage and honor for the new generations of Mexican military aviators and for many young people who know his history. His destiny was not to achieve many famous feats, but with the sacrifice of his life making a risky flight, he left a legacy that almost 100 years is still in force. Long live the memory of Captain Emilio Carranza. El día de hoy, en que conmemoramos al capitán Emilio Carranza, recordamos una vida que, a pesar de ser muy corta, dejó un valioso ejemplo de valor y honor para las nuevas generaciones de militares mexicanos, aviadores, así como para mucha gente joven que conoce su historia. Su destino no fue obtener muchas hazañas famosas, pero su sacrificio de su vida haciendo un vuelo arriesgado dejó un legado que casi 100 años después está aún vivo. Deseamos larga vida a la memoria y al recuerdo del capitán Emilio Carranza.
General Counsel of Mexico in Philadelphia, Carlos Obrador.
Muy buenas tardes, good afternoon everyone. It is my pleasure to join this 95th annual Captain Emilio Carranza Memorial Service. I want to begin by thanking Chairman of the Captain Emilio Carranza Memorial Committee, Mark Mondi, Commander for the Mt.Holly American Legion Post 11, Larry Gladfelter, Juan Garza and Luis Gagiola, Mexican members of our community, for the invitation, and most importantly, for preserving the memory and honoring the young Mexican pilots' mission of goodwill. I also want to express my gratitude to Bob Barney, who, although not present here today, has been instrumental in commemorating Captain Emilio Carranza's life and legacy. Saludo también muy amablemente a Mónica Rodríguez Carranza, quien nos honra en representación de la familia del joven piloto aviador, así como al agregado de Defensa Militar y Aéreo General Miguel Eduardo Hernández Velázquez. Y a mis estimados colegas del Consulado General de México en Nueva York y el Consulado de México en New Brunswick. Muchas gracias. Captain Emilio Carranza was only 22 years old when he passed away, but despite his age, he was a very successful man. He was a great pioneer of the aviation industry in Mexico. Showed bravery through his famous goodwill flight from Mexico to New York. And most importantly, he left a strong legacy of the significance in building bridges between nations as between people. He wanted to conquer the sky, and like many of the members of our Mexican community in their own fields of expertise today, he knew no limits when talking about aviation and inspired everyone around him. What other great things would he have achieved had his life not ended so soon? What we do now is that his life was an example of discipline, determination, tenacity, and above all, solidarity and friendship. Today, as we remember and honor the short but very meaningful life of Captain Emilio Carranza, let the virtues he embodied guide us through. As we continue to build bridges, create partnerships, and strengthen the friendship between our nations. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker, Community Affairs Council of Mexico in New York City, Raul Jorge Paz.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes a todos. Es un honor el poder estar en este día tan memorable gracias a la directiva que hace posible esta conmemoración. De la misma manera, agradecer la presencia de nuestro representante de la Fuerza Aérea Mexicana, de la familiar de manera directa de la persona que se conmemora el día de hoy, como lo fue el capitán Emilio Carranza, y agradecer la presencia de mis compañeros titulares cónsules respectivamente en Filadelfia, Carlos Obrador, y de la cónsul Mariana, ahora en nuestro nuevo consulado de México en New Brunswick. Es un gusto poder constatar que lo que viene cultivando esta memoria tan especial deja un legado de saber que una persona, un mexicano, ha inspirado para que se siga la comunicación en el entorno de la unión bilateral dentro de las fuerzas aéreas, tanto estadounidense como mexicana. Es importante mencionar también que lo que fue el capitán Emilio Carranza viene a ser un parteaguas en la historia bilateral que va a llevar y hace que el día de hoy sea posible que las nuevas generaciones dentro del entorno de la aviación volteen ahora sí a observar de arriba hacia abajo a las nuevas y futuras generaciones que van a enaltecer cada día, cada conmemoración, cada tiempo, y formando ciudadanos de este mundo globalizado y de este entorno tan importante en lo que es la aviación. Felicitaciones por preservar a la directiva esta fecha tan memorable y que sigan año con año fortaleciendo los vínculos de manera conjunta para fortalecer las nuevas generaciones que dentro del entorno de la aviación son parte primordial de la vida propia de los países en la materia expresada. Para todos, un abrazo muy solidario, muy respetuoso. A nombre del Consulado General de México en Nueva York, nos sumamos en este día memorable, en esta ofrenda simbólica, y esperamos verlos el próximo año. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much.
Next, we have this is new, the Mexican Consul in New Brunswick, New Jersey, Maria Diaz de Ogre.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm honored to be here, and I would like to extend a special thanks to Mark Murdy, Chair of the Capt.Emilio Carranza Memorial Committee, and recognize the important work that this committee has been doing for 96 years. I would also like to give my thanks to Commander for the Mt.Holly American Legion Post 11, Larry Gladfelter, as well as to Juan Garza and Luis Gagiola, for preserving the memory of Captain Carranza. And I also would like to salute Mónica Rodríguez Carranza, who's here with us today, and the Agregado de Defensa Militar y Aéreo General Miguel Eduardo Hernández Velázquez. We gather here today to pay tribute and express our appreciation for the legacy of a true hero, Capt.Emilio Carranza. Captain Carranza flew fearlessly through the skies, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible at the time. His record-breaking flights are proof of his extraordinary skill and passion for aviation, whose spirit of adventure continues to inspire generations. Tragically, he lost his life while on a mission of goodwill between Mexico and the United States. Captain Carranza's commitment to fostering friendship and understanding between our nations serves as an example of the power of unity and the pursuit of peace. As a remarkable aviator, Captain Carranza embodied the spirit of courage and determination, the same courage that many of my Mexican compatriots embody when leaving their places of origin to come to the US and build a legacy. This memorial stands not only as a physical tribute to his memory, but also as a symbol of inspiration for all who look to the skies and dream of building a legacy and leaving behind a mark of goodwill. We should remember and applaud goodwill actions such as Captain Carranza's flight, no matter the size. All actions that bring our communities together on a local and national level should be treasured. Let us remember Capt.Emilio Carranza with the utmost appreciation and gratitude, and may his memory continue to inspire us all to always aim higher and reach for the skies. Thank you.
I know you want to listen to some more people, so the last people I have are the important ones. The Carranza family, represented by Emilio Carranza's great-grand-niece, Monica Rodriguez Carranza. By the way, she's a professional airline pilot.
Thank you all for allowing me this great honor. I am going to say some words written by my brother Sergio, who wasn't able to be here. He is one of the most adamant admirers of the life and legacy of our uncle Emilio. Last Last year, thanks to the interest of the San Diego Air and Space Museum and the wholehearted diligence of Ms. Pescador and all of the museum staff, as well as the generosity of Mr. Stephen Lee and his family, and that of Mr. Luis Gagiola, our brother, and Captain Angel Jimenez Aparicio, and all of the officers and members of the American Legion Post 11 throughout the generations, a relic recovered from this hallowed place closed a divine logbook, completing Emilio's flight and returning home to the place from where his goodwill mission first took off, in San Diego. Emilio's mission, however, remains an open book in which you, the officers and members of the American Legion Post 11, continue to write the gospel of goodwill on the endless pages of time. I cannot express it better than my beautiful mother, Irma Carranza, did 24 years ago when she wrote these words for this memorial, with the desire to honor her beloved Uncle Emilio and his mission, but most importantly, to honor all of you who keep him and his mission alive. She wrote, "Dear friends, Emilio had a mission 96 years ago. Contrary to common belief, that mission was not about accomplishing an amazing feat or becoming a hero. The mission was humble and noble. He wanted to repay a gesture of the American government made by another great man in another great flight. Charles Lindbergh had flown to Mexico on a goodwill journey through Latin America. There in Mexico, both men met and instantly became friends. How could they not when they shared the same passion, character, and nobility of spirit? Emilio was already on the path to greatness, even then in his own right. At the young age of 21, as you have heard, he had already undertaken several extraordinary flights, establishing groundbreaking milestones. But this time, the calling was different. Mexicans and Americans desperately needed to improve their relationship. We were so close, and yet so far apart from each other. Like Lindbergh and Carranza, we also share the same simple dreams, the same simple aspirations. However, there was a divide then, and in some sense, there still is. For some reason, we had not been able to realize that it's easier to embark on our common journey together as good neighbors and good friends. That was the true goal of Emilio Carranza. Just like his flight, his goal was only halfway completed. In his memory and for our own sake, we are obliged to complete his voyage and fulfill his dream. I want to add some words. I have my own personal story with my Uncle Emilio. When I was very young, I was bred into a love for aviation that my mother had, and I became a pilot myself. I was always in awe and admiration of the engineering feat that aviation is, and for me, it's the safest place in the world to be. It is my element. But for some reason, all of a sudden, many years ago, I started to develop this fear of flying, this anxiety, panic attacks that had no background whatsoever. And I went to the doctor and he couldn't explain a reason why. So I told my mom, and she very challengingly said, "Why? There's no reason to fear at all. You know, Emilio, your uncle, is always protecting you. You can be sure of that. I know it for a fact that he will always protect all the Carranza generations to come from any accident, any wrongdoing on the air." And just like that, all of a sudden, I believed it. Since then, every time I go on an airplane, I ask for a seat next to the wing, and I look to the window, and I just, in my mind's eye, imagine him wearing his uniform, just like that, smiling at me. And while we connect our eyes, he salutes me, and I do the same. And I know that we're ready for takeoff. And I just, for me, he has been protective angel always. So this is an honor, very special honor, to be here today for the first time. I want to add that I felt his presence yesterday in a very special way, as it marked the 1-year anniversary of my mother's passing. She had always yearned for me to attend this ceremony, and I finally made it. I believe her spirit remains with us today, and I sensed her presence as the aircraft ascended, saluting from the pilot's cockpit. I extend my heartfelt salutations and congratulations to all of you for preserving his message. It becomes our duty to ensure that future generations become acquainted with and admire his legacy. Today, it has been an immense honor for me to be present. I express profound gratitude to Capt.Emilio Carranza, and especially to each one of you for fulfilling the promise of upholding his message of goodwill between our two sister nations, Mexico and the United States of America, a bond founded on mutual respect and deep admiration. On behalf of my mom, my Uncle Mel, and the Carranza family, I thank you, always.
Next, we have the placing of the wreaths. We have some pretty good stuff going on here. We have some add-ins, which has always happened, no big deal. So we'll do the best we can. I know it's a little bit warm. The first wreath we have is from the Mexican Military and Air Force Attaché, Major General Miguel Eduardo Hernandez Velasquez. Just so you know, we have a flyover going on right now. I wasn't made aware until I heard the noise, and somebody behind me said, "Can't you hear that?" Always a good thing. Next in line, we have the General Counsel of Mexico in Philadelphia, Carlos Obrador. Next, we have Community Affairs Council of Mexico in New York City, Raul Jorge Paz. Next up, we have the Mexican Council in New Brunswick, New Jersey, Mariana Diaz Nagore, and Adjutant Council Ellen Hubbard. Next, we have the Carranza family, Monica Rodriguez Carranza, and husband Ed Regata. Next, we have representatives of the 8th Legislative District, Senator Gene Stansfield and Assemblyman Brendan Umbuck. Next is Wharton State Forest, Representatives John Hebel, and Linda Lisa and Hernandez. Next up, we have Director, USA Chapter, Luis Gaxiola, Sociedad Mexicana de Estudios Aeronáuticos Latinoamericanos. Next, we have Mt.Holly Township, Councilwoman Tara Astor and Councilwoman Kim Burkus. Next, we have Chemung Township, Committeeman Brian Woods and Committeeman Neil Wilkinson. Next, we have Tabernacle Historical Society, presenters Eric Allen, Bella Allen, Amelia Allen, Brooke Ellen Watson, and Beckett Watson. Next up, Woodland Township Historical Society President Deborah Grove. Next up, we have American Legion, Department of New Jersey. Department Commander Larry Bishop, NEC Gene O'Grady, Department Vice Commander David Snooty, Department Master at Arms Randy Grizzard, and Department Historian Kenneth Kolchapek. Next, we have Auxiliary Department of New Jersey, Jane Babley, Past Commander, and Georgia Diane Fisher, Sergeant at Arms. I'm sorry, that's Geraldine Fisher, my bad. That's where it gets creative, and that's okay. Sal Detachment, New Jersey. And the next one I have is American Legion, Burlington County Executive Committee. Next, I have the Guy W. Doran, Senior and Junior, American Legion Post number 526 of Southampton, New Jersey. Presenters, Post Adjutant Ramilla Scott, and past post commander Roderick Melvin. Next, we have the Guy W. Doran, Senior and Junior, Sons of the American Legion, Squadron number 526 of Southampton, New Jersey. Presenter Squadron Commander Thomas Viscuso and Squadron Adjutant Finance Officer Jeff Hicks. Okay, believe it or not, I made a mistake. On the third one here, the Sons of the American Legion Detachment of New Jersey. The presenters were Detachment Commander Keith Barnes and Detachment Adjutant Thomas Martson. They already presented, correct? The Sons of the American Legion Burlington County Committee of New Jersey. Presenters Commander Frank Caruso Jr., First Vice Commander Thomas Viscuso, and DEC Adjutant Barry Conaway. Next, we have the Central Lodge, number 44, Free and Accepted Masons of Vincenttown, New Jersey, 19th Masonic District. Presenters, Senior Warden Thomas Viscuso, Junior Warden Robert Vasco, and Secretary Jeff Hicks. We have Latin America, Post 840 American Legion. And I'm sorry I wrote it down, but I seem to have misplaced it. Next, we have Ballet Folclorio Mexicano in Nueva York, Esmeralda Hidalgo, and her troupe. Next up, we have Mt.Holly Elks Lodge 848. Presenters are PER Tim White and Donna Court. Next up is Empire City Motorcycle Club, Eric Ross and Gary Povachev. American Legion, Post 11, Mt.Holly, New Jersey, Adjutant Freddie Faber, and Service Officer Howard Holsinger. We have a wreath that's left. I don't know who it is. Can anybody give me a heads up on that? We should have 2 wreaths left. Oh. Yep. Okay, the last one we have, I'm sorry, I should have come before it, is Civil Air Patrol. I did not realize they had a wreath. But they're the ones taking care. Oh, no? This is real TV, folks. Here we go, Civil Air Patrol. Okay, doing it again. The last wreath we have would be Family Garza by Juan Garza. And Luis Gaxiola. I'm sorry, also with him is Maria Rodriguez Carranza. The last note I have, there's not another wreath, but that's okay. I'd like to give thanks to Troop 439 of the Scouts of Tabernacle. They're coming out every year. They've given us a good hand. Greatly appreciate it. No more wreaths? Okay, next, we're going to do the reenactment, Finding Capt.Emilio Carranza, and it's going to be narrated by Carl Shaw.
Call to arms. All post members report to the podium, please. We've been notified by the authorities that Emilio Carranza, on his goodwill mission, perished last night in the Pines. Our duty is to go out, recover his body, pay all due respect, and let's bring him home.
Guard retrieve the